All right. Good afternoon. I'm Josh Foster, and I'm with Exit Real Estate. I'm joined today here with David Fruge with Premier Nationwide Lending, and we're coming to you live here at 131 Chavis Square in DeQuincy, Louisiana. We'll talk a little bit more about the house toward the end of the broadcast. But David, thanks for coming out. And I asked David to come out mainly because we just have a few questions and kind of talks about the do's and the don'ts, the ins and outs of financing. And if you don't mind, David, just kind of go over some of the things you get commonly asked, maybe some misconceptions about financing.
Well, the main thing that a lot of folks still have not quite a good understanding about is down payment. I get a lot of calls still today, Josh, where people say, I just don't have the 20% to put down or the 10% to put down. Well, in today's market, there are programs that are still available out there, which requires no money down, zero, no money or very little out of your pocket, 3% down payment, 3.5% down payment, 5% down payment. And, if you got the 20%, good for you.
Right.
But the average person out there today, the working folks, a lot of them are, they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And they don't have a big down payment. So, this property here in DeQuincy, it does qualify for the rural development program. A lot of people consider it like a first-time home buyers program. And the rural development program is 100% financing, no down payment. The seller can contribute or pay all of closing costs. So really, a person can get into this house or any home that's eligible for the rural development program with really no money out of their pocket or very, very little.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick about maybe what do you see, and I get this call a lot, of people who maybe don't have perfect credit or maybe has gone through a divorce at some point, their credit took a dip.
Yeah.
How hard is it to repair credit? Because I find that there's a lot of things that people can do that they don't know about. So how hard is it to repair credit, to get that score where it needs to be?
Josh, there again, you ask that question. A lot of folks think you got to have a 700 or 800 credit score. You don't have to have that credit score. We like to see those credit scores.
Yeah.
But really, you can go down to a 640, 620 in some cases, and sometimes lower than that. But we do work with a program that if we did pull an individual's credit up and there was some blemishes on the credit, we can run this scenario, which we run their credit through a program that will kick out exactly what can be done to improve the credit. It'll tell us how many points their credit score can improve. And really, it just depends on what's on the credit, on how long it will take.
Sure.
You and I worked a deal about 2 years ago. The guy's credit score was about 30 points shy. The guy was, I think, up in Michigan or Missouri, someplace like that. But while I had him on the phone, I ran that scenario on him and told him, look, if he paid down this one credit card by $200, it would impact his credit by 35 points. He did it while I was on the phone with him, updated his credit. We had him in a house in 2 weeks' time. So it really just depends on what's on the credit, what can be done, and what the consumer has available to help us get it done for them.
So I know a lot of times what I'm running into now is somebody maybe is a first or second time home buyer looking to go maybe rural development. They might make a little too much money. So the next viable option usually is the FHA loan. Can you talk to us a little bit about what FHA loans are? What's the percentage down? Things like that.
Well, the FHA is a good loan. It's a good option. If you have, lower credit scores, if you don't have much money to put down, maybe no reserves, in the bank account. The FHA loan only requires a 3.5% down payment. And that 3.5% for the down payment can be a gift from a relative. In some instances, it can be a loan, a secured loan, as long as it fits in your debt ratio. And again, on the FHA loan, the seller can contribute or pay all of your closing costs. So that's another loan that you can get into a home with very little money down or possible no money out of your own pocket.
So talk a little bit more about gift funds. So there are several loans out there, rural development, I know FHA, where a family member can give the down payment as a gift to the buyer.
That's correct.
So again, that still puts them, if they have a family member willing to give them assistance, I mean, that puts them coming in with hardly anything out
Anything
there.
or nothing out of the
Yeah.
pocket. Actually, Josh, rural development, FHA, conventional loans, every program available today will allow you to get a gift from a relative. It has to be a relative. It's just the guidelines. But it also can be an employer. I had a young man that was an assistant pastor at a church. He was able to get gift funds from his church because it was his employer.
Okay.
It can also be from nonprofit organizations. So on any program, you can have gift funds. The rural development and the FHA loan will allow all of it to come from a gift. And in some cases, on the conventional loans, it only allows a certain amount.
Let's talk real fast about move-up buyers. These are buyers who maybe have bought their first home, have outgrown it at this point, and now, are looking to make a change either in a bigger home, maybe move closer back home toward family and friends. What do you see with these people who maybe are selling a home and maybe, have to sell their home currently before they can buy a new home? How do you work to coordinate the closings with that? Because I know we work closely when that comes.
Well, and in those type of loans where they're selling a house and they're buying a house, I've got several going on right now. In one of the cases that I'm working now, my client, the buyer, is purchasing a home from someone who is building a home.
Okay.
So it took me 3 weeks. We're clear to close on that file. And we're just waiting because they're allowing the seller to, finish building the house and get in the house. But we coordinate those all the time. The closings back to back. You can do them in the same day. You can do them 2 days apart. You can do them at the same location with the same title company. This way it's convenient for everybody.
Correct.
In the mortgage industry nowadays, Josh, our phones are available 7 days a week. We work around the client's schedule because they're working people. A lot of them work 9 to 5. So sometimes we got to work our lunch hours. Sometimes we got to work at 7 o'clock at night. But we coordinate those type of loans all the time, so it's never an issue.
And second part of that question is someone may be selling their first house, moving up into a newer home or a bigger home or whatever the case is. They're, most of the time, if a home was bought 5 years ago, they have good a bit of equity. That home is worth more than they paid for it. So are you seeing that they're able to take the sale of their home and then put all the money they made and put into their new home? And I've had cases where sometimes their new house note's cheaper than the old house note.
Yeah.
And they got a new house.
And the reason for that is that, our economy in this area, we're just blessed. We're fortunate that it's continuing to grow. And as it grows, supply and demand, the house prices are going up. Rates are still super low. But what happens is, if you're looking to move up to a larger home, you're definitely able to. A lot of folks are taking what they thought maybe they had only $20,000 in equity, but now the homes are selling for more, so they're having $60,000, $70,000 in equity. That they can take there and put it in a slush fund, or they can put the entire thing down. We're not going to tell them what to do with their money,
but they have that
by
option.
moving up and selling a home right now in this market, you're going to have a lot of equity.
So what are some do's and don'ts? Because we see this a lot, and I see this a lot, and I always try to educate my buyers, but it really helps coming from a lender who deals with it more every day. What are the do's and don'ts of buying a home on the credit side of things? Like, once you find a home, we get them pre-approved, they found this perfect house, now we've gone under contract. What are the do's and don'ts that you see?
Well, that's a really good question because in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 customers come to me to get approved for a house, and all of them are approved, but they weren't looking for a house.
Correct.
Believe it or not, all 3 of them just went out and purchased a brand new vehicle, like in the last 6 months. So what you don't want to do when you're shopping for a mortgage, and you're shopping for a mortgage, is don't run up your credit card debt. Don't get any new debt. Try to keep any inquiries on your credit down to a minimal. And then once you're under contract on a house, you want your finances, your credit, everything to stay exactly how it was from the time that you started application until the house is closed.
Yeah. I always tell my buyers, don't go and furniture shop until you close on the house, because it just seems that you don't want any new credit cards, any new credit inquiries or anything.
Well, what happens, Josh, is if you got a client comes in today and then you're ready to close in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the time length may be, within 3 days of closing, we do pull what's called the soft pull credit, and that's just to find out if you did
take out a new loan,
run up credit card bills, got yourself in a financial bind. That's done right before closing. Gotcha. So you want to keep everything the same.
Perfect.
Don't go out and just buy stuff and run credit up.
Perfect.
You're into a huge purchase. Wait until the process is done.
And I know you are out of Lake Charles, and a lot of times I know, and I know other lenders do this as well, but you give out your cell phone number
all the time.
And
it's the only number I work from.
How accessible is it now? Because I know, like you said, people are working all hours. They're working shift work, and how accessible is it now to get pre-approved and to start that process of buying a home?
Well, and I think it's pretty across the board. I don't think it's just me. I know it's everyone in my office. I know it's other lenders in town. They give you a cell phone number. You can call us after hours. My phone's on. It's never off. But once in a while, I'll turn it off, say 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
But we're available all the time.
And I have talked to several people, and I know you do as well. That you can apply online. So if you're at work and maybe thinking about going to look at the house down the street and kicking it around, wanting to make a purchase, it's pretty easy to just apply online, just to kind of see what.
Yeah, and we have mortgage apps now. I mean, I have my own. I can send it to any one of your clients. They can log in to the app. They can do an application online. They can get updates. They can pretty much do everything with a cell phone.
Perfect. So, and when you're dealing with home purchases, you work all over Southwest Louisiana. You're not really confined to one town, one city.
Anywhere in Louisiana.
Just like us. So we're here at this house, and let's run a quick scenario. We're here at 131 Shaver Square. This is a 3-bed. It's a 2-bath, 2.5 bath brick home, and it's a nice home. What type of buyer would you say would work best for this type of home? How easy is it versus another home in a different price range? It all pretty much works the same. It doesn't matter whether it's 300,000 or 100,000. The process is still the same.
Process is still the same. Yeah. It's just as easy on any program. Just fortunately, this particular house is located in the rural development area. So this house here actually qualifies for any loan program that's available.
Perfect.
And a loan is as hard as your loan officer.
That's right.
If you go to somebody experienced,
that
knows what they're doing, and they just love what they're doing, the process is going to be really easy.
Well, David, I appreciate you coming by. Thanks you. And if you have any questions, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Well, anybody can call me or text me at my cell phone, 337-794-0891. I'm available 7 days a week.
Awesome. And also, if you'd like to check out this home at 131 Shaver Square, you can check out our website at swlahomezone.com. I'm Josh Foster, and you can reach me at 337-884-4843. We want to thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a great rest of the day.